That song, Here Comes the Hot Stepper. Well, yeah, we're going to have a hot step tonight getting home because it's freezing cold. And I used to have more of what they call an atypical depression. When I would get depressed, I would have trouble more in the afternoon than at night. When I get depressed these days, it's more, well, it's off and on through the day, but it tends to be bad in the morning, especially right before I leave. So, all that planning and organizing stuff that I already have trouble with because of fetal alcohol just gets worse. So, I had kind of a dilemma this morning because it was supposed to be severe weather right about now. And I had a friend at work who said, I'll give you a ride, but don't bring a lot of stuff. So I had my candy bag. And I'm looking at it, what am I bringing? I brought my sinus pills and some hand cream, stuff like that. And I thought, well, I could bring my poncho, but no, I didn't. And I didn't need it, at least not yet. And it was supposed to be cold tonight, and I thought, well, I looked at my phone again, and it said, 80% chance of rain all night long, starting at about 7, and I was off at 9. So I thought, well, I'm definitely getting that ride. I'll just forget it. So I left the coat, and it is dry and windy and cold. And like I said, depression off and on. It was on pretty solidly when I was leaving, and I just thought I just want to get out of here. So I told my friend, because I would have had to wait. And always nice cars in the neighborhood. I guess that's a good thing. You wouldn't believe some of the salvage specials I've seen in Acres Homes. That's probably the worst cars I've ever seen in my life. The most decrepit. But the cars at Greenspoint are actually pretty, reasonable, okay looking cars. But it is really cold. So, well, for Houston and my arm hurts. So that means it's gonna rain. So but I made it, and I'm going home now, and I work tomorrow. I have Monday off. I won't be able to do anything about my wallet until Tuesday, basically, and I work Tuesday, and I guess theoretically I could get up really early and go downtown on Tuesday and then come back and go to work, but I'm not really feeling that. And the lady I talked to said everything was there, so, and that there's been no activity on my debit card except what I'm doing. I have like a tap to pay thing with my Walmart Plus on my phone, so I was able to buy like snacks tonight. And I took the meat loaf lentils. They were very good, and I'm definitely making that again. It wasn't hard. It just took a little while with the preparation and the cooking, but it's worth it. Get a lot of meals out of that. I am not hungry at all. I didn't even eat my little sweet potato that I brought, so I'll probably warm that up when I get home because I am cold, and eat that for dinner. When I take my medicine, but it is unpleasant. And I was thinking of something too, because I feel like I have to be very, very careful in sharing anything about my private life. I like men as a rule. That's a very safe thing to say. I'm friendly with with pretty much everybody I meet. And I was just chatting up this homeless guy there was strong odor there. But, I was talking to him and I gave him a very special thing that I can't tell if that's a dog. I don't want to be around a dog. So, I feel kind of sorry for it though. It's a bad night to get out. So, yeah, that's somebody's dog. Not a real big dog, so I'm not too worried. A little big, about twice the size of a cat. So, so I'm friendly with everybody basically, and I like talking to guys, and that's all it is. And like when I talk to drivers, it's generally about, lately it's been like, they've been asking about cat food. All these guys have been asking about cat food, like 10,000 push-ups about it, and it's very interesting. So maybe they're just, trying to bring up a subject they think I'll be interested in or what. You don't want to get me started on the Bible handouts because I will not shut up about that. I need to get out of the street. But, work, well, there's not always a lot that's positive to say about work, and I want to be a positive person. But I have been texting a little with somebody, and little being the operative word, and he's a nice guy, very solid Christian, and I respect him, and I think that's a very good starting point for like any communication with anybody. And I don't know what's going on up there, but I'm gonna go across the street. I think there's a guy walking his dogs off leash, and I smell like cats. So there's leveled, and there is a very, very large husky looking at me behind me. I'm just gonna keep walking. I guess the storm was worse than I thought. It didn't really seem to be a big event today. At work, I didn't even hear it. So, anyways, but I got to thinking, I could point fingers at things in my past, but I'm just gonna own it and say that I'm the type of person that I like to get approval from people. There, I said it. And look and make sure that dog is not coming after me. And I need to be careful about that. And just seek God's approval. Because, if I'm making God happy, then everything else is going to fall on the line. But if I'm seeking man's approval, hello! How did you get in? I know! I'm so scared! I'm so scared of the puppy! Oh, don't get me, pup! Yeah. It's a little dog that likes to bark at me on the porch. I believe it's a very old poodle mix. But, nice little dog. It doesn't like cats, of course, and the cats probably tease it relentlessly. So, I never blame the dog when it gets aggressive with me. So, barks at me at least. But I need to be careful about that, because that was what I fell into with my husband. When I met him, he was very lavish with the approval. I was just the most wonderful woman in the world until I wasn't, and I had to earn his approval. He wanted me to go against my principles to earn his approval, and it's a very, very bad thing for anybody, but it was a very, very, but probably one of the worst things I ever did in my life was take Jesus off the throne of my life and put Ron up there. Yeah, I said it. And I want to be very careful I don't do that again with anybody, particularly a man. So, I've just been thinking about that. They were still looking at me, so I waved. I would wonder about me too. And so, I'm thinking about that. And, I'm okay living alone. And I think that's a really good start because the first couple of years after Ron died were very hard. And I thought a lot about dating, getting on, some match thing, but I'm glad I didn't because, I don't know about now, but I certainly wasn't ready then for any kind of serious relationship. So, almost home now. So I just need to work on my faith walk and my ministry and serve the people God has for me. Like tonight on my way home, the first bus. I very, very seldom talk about these recipients on the bus, but the first recipient was the bus driver. No, it wasn't. He did not want a Bible. He didn't want to pack it. He kind of waved it off. He was kind of a large guy, so maybe he was worried about diabetes or whatever. So I just kind of held it, and I sat down, and Bible catalog. Okay, and that is definitely going in my shoulder bag. So I gave him one, and I was sitting behind the driver in what we'll call the death seat. On some of the older buses, they had a seat that faces at a 90-degree angle, looking out the side of the bus. So my back is to the side of the bus, and I'm looking out the right side of the bus, and I'm sitting pretty much directly behind the driver. So if somebody wants to get off, they have to stand right in front of me. And there was this young man, early 20s, I'd say, and he was standing in front of me. He moved up to get off, and he just, I don't know how you want to phrase it, but there was a very loud call in my heart that this guy needed a packet, like right now. So I gave him one, and he just kind of looked at it. And he looked at me, but he took it, and then he got off. That was the first one. The next four were a usual crowd who ride my 85, and they get on at the transport point like I do. So I handed them out stuff, and they were enjoying that, and they said, quote, I had the good stuff and all the good candy, and they really appreciated the Bibles, and that's nice to get that kind of feedback, but I'm not doing it for that. I got something from World Missionary Press, and I have no idea what this is. So let's see what it is. We'll do an unboxing. So and then there was it was open, interesting. So, and then there was and the house is really warm. Did I have the heater on? I didn't think I had the heater on. He knows me, and he kind of just sat and just kind of existed next to me for a minute, and then I gave him a packet. All I had left was the Spanish, but he knows Spanish. I can tell by the way he looks at it. And the fun thing was, he was very, we'll say disheveled, and there was a bad odor. But the packet he got was the one that had the Your Special tract in it. And I thought, God is really talking to this guy. So I thought that was really cool. That always freaks me out when I come in the kitchen and I see that light. I put a little night light in there, but I'm not used to it yet. So I actually gave him two because he was, having a rough night. But, and the driver, I was completely out of everything, and he was like a middle-aged black guy. I knew he didn't speak Spanish, so I actually stripped the packet of Jesus and just gave him the candy alone. So let's do an unboxing, but so I'm not going to count the driver. This is from World Missionary Press. It's addressed to me, and normally these come with like 10,000 straps, and it just has 2 straps, and it's open. So let's see. Now, something like this, I would think, I hope at least one of these items got away. Oh, I know what this is. And somebody took one. So, oh yeah, these are brand new. I asked for these. I forgot. The Power of Hope. It's a nice booklet. This would have to go in a jumbo sandwich bag. I know enough about this. Oh, nice. Oh, this is nice. Okay, I'm gonna like, let me see how to do this. I really, really love what these guys do. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, cool. So, I know what I'm using tomorrow because, check this out. God let the God's Gift New Testaments run out, but I have more coming. At least 2 cases. That is Help from Above scripture booklets. And these are the Hope ones. I'm going to take one of these to bed. But, yeah, that's it. I am home.